Hey, it's Sela Social Studies.
Hey guys, welcome back to Sela Social Studies. Alright, so we left you off last time at the difference between chapter 13 and 12, the North and the South, the industry and slavery. I hope you were able to really see a big difference between the two of these chapters. How the Industrial Revolution really brought the northern states a lot more forward and advanced, and how the institution of slavery really kept the southern states, kind of like us here in North Carolina, it kind of kept us behind. While the North was going out and they were making things happen, we were kind of just sitting still. So here's what we have left. In the rest of the second quarter here, we have the second wave of immigration. We have the sectionalism and division of the United States leading up, finally ending with the Civil War. So these are the next three chapters that we're going to be going into. Right now, the second wave of immigration. Why do we have to worry about the second wave of immigration? Well, you have to see how immigrants had such an effect on the United States. Immigration is still having an effect every day on the United States. So right here we're talking about the antebellum, the period before the Civil War. We're talking about the 1840s to the 1860s, the second major wave of immigration. The first major wave being the British, but now we're talking about these two flags right here, the Irish and the German. Today we still have huge German and Irish ethnicities in the United States who stem from this immigration during the 1840s to the 1860s and even beyond. It doesn't just end in the 1860s, but this is what we cover until. So you have the major Irish and German immigration, how they affected the United States then, and how do they still affect the United States today, and all the time in between. And this is the big one of the pre-Civil War, the antebellum time, the urban life, the Irish and German urbanization of the United States, moving into the cities. The next two things we're going to cover chapter right here are going to be reform movements. The reform movements that happened before the Civil War, the antebellum reform movements, the ones that picked up a lot of steam again prior to the Civil War. Once the Civil War occurs, once it starts happening in 1861, it really starts pushing all of these reform movements to the back burner. You have the abolitionist movement, and the actual Civil War will end the abolitionist movement. You won't need to have the abolitionist movement after the Civil War, because the Civil War will end slavery. You have women's rights, women who are fighting for their equal rights, right to vote, and all these other type of equal pay rights going on pre-antebellum or the antebellum time. And then reforming society. This is where we're going to get into a lot of reformers, the Second Great Awakening. We're going to get into religious reform. We're going to get into temperance, not drinking alcohol, and we're going to be talking about Dorothea Dix and helping the mentally ill. But we're talking about how reform movements started shaping the United States of America. So let's get started.